Hello and welcome, everyone. Welcome to the Agency Owner's Guide to Freedom book launch event. My promise today is that I can show you how to scale your agency with a long-term growth plan that enables you to have more freedom in your life and business. Seth Godin once said that trust is the biggest hurdle, and trust largely comes from social proof. Now, I know this works because it has worked for my clients. And you're going to hear a lot of their stories shortly. But I've seen this work with every type of marketing agency, whether it's full service, creative, digital marketing agencies, media buying agencies, marketing communications, social media agencies, copywriting agencies, ad agencies, boutique agencies, and more. So with that said, let's begin. The Agency Owner's Guide to Freedom. Take back your life, control your time, and transform your agency. For those that stick around until the end, I have a gift for you. I can't tell you what it is yet, so you'll have to stay until the end to find out. But at the end of this presentation, we'll be exporting the list of everyone that is here live. And I'm going to give you an exclusive gift to help you personally implement what I'm going to talk about today for free. I can't tell you what it is yet, but I can tell you that it is worth more than a pair of shoes and less than a house. And everybody here live today will get it for free. Now, I don't want you to take my word for it on how good this opportunity is, so I want to prove it to you. So let me explain. When I see this stuff like this, it bothers me. This 12-hour work days and then this hustle culture. People are falling for this hustle culture that leads them towards burnout. And while it might work for some people to work 12 to 14-hour days, it is not the way to grow a business long term, especially if you are a parent. And many times, without a solid strategy, it leads towards perceived business success without personal fulfillment. Now, about a couple of weeks ago, I ran a poll on LinkedIn and wanted to see, what is more successful, the definition of success for my 10,000 audience of agency owners on LinkedIn. So what is more aligned with your definition of success? And widely, 96% of people said that having a thriving family in addition to a $10 million business is more successful than a $100 million business without family or kids. Now, the Agency Owner's Guide to Freedom is for those that want to stop working harder and longer to achieve success so that they can be free to have the life and the business that works for them. Maybe not at $100 million, but where they define their own version of what success actually is and then achieve it. Now, what I'm trying to do today is both show and tell at the same time. The things I'm going to cover today have worked for Mike to go from the 12 to 14-hour days, 6 to 7 days per week to 8-hour days and weekends free to be with his family and kids while quadrupling his business in 4 months. From Susan giving me 6 months to turn her agency around or she was going to shut it down to doubling her business in 6 months and getting acquired. Or from Scott, from being paid by the hour to reposition and double his profit margins and take a whole month off from the business without his clients even knowing that he was gone. And there are many more client transformations. And for myself, I have used what I've been teaching clients to allow niche and control our business to make a pivot from being this solopreneur coach that I was to growing a lean team, to create our mastermind called Alliance, and to launch a Leverage for Growth podcast earlier this year and release over 200 episodes of that podcast, to write and publish this book since the beginning of this year as well, while having our third child and taking time off to be with my wife and kids, all while working less than 40 hours per week. I spent the last 4 years working with agency owners, applying this framework and learning through experience what works to scale an agency without sacrificing your ability to be a good spouse, a good parent, and having time to focus on what is most important to you and to have a business that supports you in that vision. Now, what I'm going to cover today is not a better way of running Google ads or anything like that. In fact, we don't teach our clients how to be a better subject matter expert working in the business. We actually teach them how to be a better entrepreneur and how to effectively work on the business, allowing the business to work for you rather than you working for the business. Now, everything that I've been doing in the last 4 years has been with the sole purpose to show everyone that acting on the right strategy to create freedom is possible for anyone willing to follow it. Now, if you know what you are doing, you do not need a lot of time. You just need to do the right stuff the right way in the right order. But knowing what to do is actually the hardest part, which is why I've dedicated and devoted a large amount of resources to my personal mission of helping 1 million entrepreneurs to live their vision that got them into entrepreneurship in the first place. And I'm going to do my best to live up to that ideal for you guys today. So what I'm going to deliver is going to help two types of people today. Type number one is the people that need help themselves. They might need a lifeline to take care of themselves and their family. And I'm going to promise you that I will get you closer to that today for free, period. So you're going to want to stay towards the end because I'm going to deliver on that for sure. And then the second type of person is really the ability to be in a position to help me pay it forward. I'm going to show you how it's in your self-interest to help everyone else as well. And if you decide to join me, I can show you how we can accomplish both of our missions together. At the end of the day, no one is going to save you. You are the one who can make the change needed in your life and business. It's up to you. And so if you take this stuff and you just have to learn it, period. And now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's create more freedom in our lives. So who here would like to grow their agency while working less in it? Great. Otherwise, it would have been a short presentation. Rather than rushing to show you how you can grow, let's start with the opposite. How could you guarantee that you would not grow your agency while working less in it? The answer is to have the business rely on you to operate in it, the centralized approach. If the business relies on you to run, then we can be sure that as the business grows, you'll have to work more longer hours. It might seem obvious, but some of you are actually doing this right now, focusing on scaling a business, but every new client means more hours for you. And this is what causes agency owners to turn on marketing, get flooded with business, and have to turn it off in order for them to fulfill. And this is because creating scalability in the business comes before scaling. It's this decentralized approach. And this is an example of how to put the right strategy and putting the right strategy in the right order matters. Simply focusing on the right things at the right time can have a compound effect. And this is how Warren was able to 6x his business in 9 months from 15,000 per month to 100,000 per month. So this all comes down to having a long-term growth plan for your agency and a practical way to achieve it. And the bottom line is that without a long-term growth plan, you'll have a business and a life by default and be at the whim of whatever happens in your life. But there's another huge reason on why having a long-term growth plan is so important for agency owners. If you always knew that you could work on the business and what to do with that time, it gives you unwavering certainty in the direction that you're taking your life and business. And that certainty shows up in how you lead your team, how you close deals, how you position your agency, and how much you get paid, everything. As much as I could keep hitting this point, I figured that I might just have to give you a sneak peek of what's inside the book. So I'm going to read the first page to you. This book is a manual for transformation. I believe that entrepreneurship is a calling. Entrepreneurs have been called to serve others through the products, the services, and transformations they create. If you are reading this book, you have felt that call to serve. As entrepreneurs, our greatest gift to the world is to have a life and a business that works. To achieve this, we need to have agency over ourselves, our lives, and our businesses. Let's understand the word agency. Most of the time, the word is used with ad agencies or government agencies, but there is another way to use it that deserves more attention. This is how the Webster Dictionary defines agency in the sense that I am talking about. Agency, the capacity, condition, or state of acting or exerting power. Agency is our capacity to make decisions, take action, exert control of our lives, and it's about setting a trajectory and then taking steps needed to follow it. Agency is the feeling that you are the driver of your life, not just a passenger. Exercising agency requires a commitment to personal growth and success. Over time, exercising agency can change you into the person you have always wanted to be. It can give you the life and the business that you want. But everything starts with you. To get to where you want to be, you'll need to grow past your current version of yourself. This is because your personal growth and your agency's growth are intertwined. And to grow the agency, you need to grow as a person. Revenue growth is great, but what really matters to me is watching business owners see the potential within themselves, to see them begin to exercise their agency, their power to transform themselves, their lives, and their businesses. Here's what having agency in your life looks like. For your body, to take charge of your health, set goals, track progress, and celebrate wins. For your being, to drive your personal growth, take autonomous actions, make conscious decisions, and acknowledge your progress. For balance, to exercise agency in your relationships, to build and nurture connections that resonate with your values, and to allow others to have agency in their lives as well. For your business, to be the CEO of the business, not an employee. Set clear business goals, measure your progress, and adapt as necessary. When you exercise agency in these areas of your life, and you achieve whatever success means to you, you aren't just benefiting yourself. Your success will affect your family's life too. It will change the lives of the people who work for you and their families. Your ability to create a life and a business by design has the potential to create a ripple effect that affects thousands, possibly even millions of people. So here's what I'm going to do in our short time together. I'm going to share a few breakthrough experiences that I had learning how to scale businesses so you can get the lesson without the scar. Give you guys a long-term growth plan that you can use to scale your agency while working less in it. I'm going to invite you to join me on my personal mission in helping 1 million entrepreneurs live their vision and have more agency in their lives. And to get out of your way so you can tear off the wrapping paper and dig into my last 4 years of work. Cool? Great. So let's start with a visual of our journey together. We have 3 secrets that we're going to talk about and the 5 transformations you have to go through. We'll start with the first secret in scaling an agency, which is mindset. And for each one of these, I'm going to talk about how I learned it, how I use it with clients, and then where you can use it today. So here I am as a training and development manager in a global corporation. I'm 32 years old, not happy with work. I wanted to make a difference in the world, but I doubted my capability due to past failures. So I decided to invest in myself through a program called Wake Up Warrior because I saw other men reclaiming control of their life. I had just become a parent for the first time, and I wanted to lead my family toward success. However, my view of success at that time was extremely limited and was to get promoted within the company I was working for. So I dove into my first true training on mindset and was exposed to different ways of looking at the world and the things that are happening within it. And I began to realize that if I wanted to change my life, I would have to be willing to change. And I had to learn how to systematically disassociate with the past and the patterns that had kept me from believing in myself and break free towards this new version of myself that was emerging. And the first step towards making that shift was to identify the things that were holding me back from my desired future. And then I had a burial ceremony where I took those things that were holding me back and I went to a beach with my wife and my son, and there's a picture of us right after it, to have them be a witness for me burying these things that I identified as keeping me from playing big, kept me playing small. And this set me on a journey to discover what is called a limitless mindset. For the next 5 years, I invested in coaches, masterminds, courses, and countless hours of self-study to make mindset practical, not just a concept. And the best way to understand mindset is through the 3 selves framework. And this framework is a step-by-step process of clearly defining your 3 selves. So you have 3 selves within you. You have the answer of who are you, your current self, right? A lot of times that's based around whatever past choices led you to where you are today. And then you have the second self, which is the future self. It's what you want to be remembered for, maybe at your funeral, and then there's this third self, which is usually neglected, which is who are you becoming in the process, becoming self. That person, that part of you that's taking a step towards your future self. And when you identify the three selves and you began awareness to make meaningful change in your life, and this process allowed me to go from feeling enslaved by the golden handcuffs of corporate America, steady paychecks, right? To impacting the lives of hundreds of agency owners through our podcast, the community, the mastermind, the coaching programs, and now this book. Who I was back then and who I am today are two completely different people. I wouldn't actually even think about hiring that previous version of myself. That transformation came from understanding and applying the practical application of mindset. So that's how I learned it, and this is how I use it with clients. When I first meet with potential clients, I ask them questions to determine, what is their vision? What's their end goal with the agency? And what's their motivation and commitment in actually getting to that end goal? And what I have found is that many agency owners that I speak with have a difficult time focusing on long-term growth because they're too close to the work. It's like they're too close to the trees to see the forest. And so they associate, and also what they associate is their value to the business is through the work they do for their clients. Now, that needs to be shifted as a mindset shift if you are going to own a business rather than just owning a job. Now, when we bring in a new client on our mastermind or one-on-one coaching, we start with mindset because we need to tap into their vision, something bigger than themselves, something that can pull them through the challenges that occur with growth. In psychology of high performers, this is called the self-determination theory. And we assess their mindset and their vision to their current use of time to understand the imbalances and the misalignments. And this allows them to have a clear path towards achieving the future self through a definition of who they need to become to make that meaningful change in their life. And by defining your current self, your future self, and your becoming self, you're able to start letting go of the past and not let it dictate the future. Now, when this process is used on a systematic and routine basis, you're able to allow yourself to continue to expand and grow to become the person you aspire to be. And the best part is you don't have to wait to use this. You can actually use it immediately after this presentation today. So that was how I use it with clients. Now let's talk about where you can use it today. You can use mindset and the three selves framework to understand that and what you actually need to let go of that's no longer serving you and getting what you want. If you have felt stuck in your life or business and there are a series of patterns that keep you in place, the three selves can provide you a path towards becoming unstuck and with practice, becoming limitless. The whole three selves framework and supporting mindset frameworks are included in the book so you can make mindset practical. So that was mindset. Let's get into the second secret of scaling an agency, systems. Systems, how did I learn it? Let's start with how I learned the importance of systems before I actually even knew what they were. This is me and my brother Jeremy in our first business called the North Coast Collective. It was a web information services business that combined 120 venue calendars of the Twin Cities of Minnesota into one place that people could see and hear the band before the show. We were ahead of our time and spent multiple years trying to get a proof of concept out. I was stuck working 60 to 80-hour weeks for years. We had this centralized approach, and we had built a business around our skills, and we didn't know how to effectively duplicate ourselves. So if we didn't work didn't get done. And as the business as the business increased its audience, we had a difficult time monetizing it, kind of like a social media influencer with 1 million followers but can't pay rent. And at the time that business was gaining traction, we were so burnt out from working in the business that we just couldn't find a way out. And we actually dissolved the business as it was becoming more successful. And this set me on a journey to figure out what I was missing. So I launched 2 more companies, a photography business and a nonprofit, but they ended up the same way. So I took a job at a $4 billion global corporation and worked under the VP of Human Resources. And my job was to systematically remove all single points of failure within their production value stream or operation through the development of systems and processes. Now, if you're not familiar with the term single point of failure or value stream, here's a quick explanation. So imagine a value stream. The best way of understanding a value stream is basically you have this faucet. Hopefully you can see my cursor here. And you turn on the faucet and water comes through and it's leads and the journey from a lead to prospect to client to completing the client agreement. So water goes through these pipes, goes through 4 different containers, comes out on the other side, and in operations it's called throughput, the continuous flow of value through the system. The 4 containers include client attraction, otherwise known as prospects conversion to appointments, appointments into clients, client fulfillment and operations, and then customer support and account management. When we look at bottlenecks, bottleneck is basically where anything that is slowing your business down. In the language of systems, a bottleneck is a block in the value stream. And for single points of failure is where if a single individual is absent from a business can no longer function as it has or produce the same quality of value to the clients. So the thing that kept me working in the business was that I was the single point of failure in my previous businesses. And I was learning exactly how to remove them from a global corporation so that the corporation could have the people doing the work switch without the customer being impacted. And through 5 years of implementing business systems and processes in corporate America, I brought this knowledge to agency owners and the results were outstanding. So that is how I learn systems. This is how I use it with clients. With clients, we understand that at a 6 and 7 figure level, the founder is typically the #1 single point of failure within the business. However, we also know that single points of failure can be found in your strategic partners or vendors, right? Contractors or employees. And it can also be found in various parts of the value stream, right? You got marketing, you got sales, operations, admin, management. And many times, people have, these agency owners have tried to build systems and processes before, but either they and their team stopped using them, or they tried having somebody else build them for them and it just didn't work. So we work together to identify the single points of failure in each area and tackle them one at a time. And when we do this systematically and in conjunction with mindset, we are injecting scalability into agencies. The results are that the business is being set up with a strong foundation to build from, which leads towards the realization of our client's vision as it is a building of delegation systems, the client attraction systems, and people systems that allow the business to fund their dream. Again, the best part that is that you're able to learn a step-by-step formula to removing single points of failure in your business immediately after this presentation today. So that is how I use it with clients. Where can you use it today? You can use systems and processes in your operations to effectively delegate work to others so you can work on growing the business. You can use it in your marketing to stop relying on 1 or 2 methods of booking appointments. For your sales process to learn and improve with every sales call that you have, and with people systems to hire, train, and manage people to execute the work needed for you to achieve your vision. You can also use systems and processes in your life to free up more time to spend on things that truly matter to you. And you don't have to wait. You can start this process today. So that is the second secret. Now let's go into the third secret in scaling your agency, which is leadership. Leadership, how did I learn it? So in my first businesses, I was a doer, not a leader. And when something needed to be done, I jumped in and did it. And I didn't think about what was needed to be an effective leader. I just knew that work needed to be done, and so I did it. But as I got exposed to leadership development and ended up training managers on how to effectively lead, I realized that there was another missing link in my previous businesses. Working under the VP of HR or human resources and executing on strategic initiatives for 5 years, I learned how an organizational vision is communicated through the organization and how it determines the success or failure of the execution. What defines a great leader from the good ones, and good from great? And what makes a great leader charismatic and gets people to want to follow them? And I was a part of over 100 business unit-wide or company-wide initiatives and saw firsthand what worked and what didn't. From this, I started studying great CEOs and how they communicated effectively. And what I found was that there's a simple process and a meeting structure that allows communication and execution to be operationally excellent. And the mission of CEOs with expanding businesses is to simply allow the flow of communication to be without silos or bottlenecks. And the greatest CEOs focus on communicating the what and the why of their vision, while allowing their teams to determine the how and the when. And I used this with Niche and Control when I hired Jeremy as the operations manager and communicated the vision of our company to expand out of just one-on-one coaching to serving more people. And this led to the launch of our podcast, our mastermind, our agency community, and now the book. And there is no way that I could have pulled all of this off on my own. I needed to lead a team effectively and empower them to take over whole parts of the organization so that I could accomplish all of this while not sacrificing how I show up for my wife and our growing family. And when you have unlocked your limitless mindset and embrace the true potential of systems and processes, what they allow is the only thing that ends up coming against you is basically how you can effectively lead others and communicate your vision so that others can follow. So that's how I learned leadership. This is how I use it with clients. While working with clients, I get them to see the vision of their future very clearly so that they are certain in the direction that they are heading. And from there, we start to understand what defines success and what milestones can be achieved along the way towards realizing their vision. And this gives us a path to success. Then we start to use that vision and that path to chart a course of how the agency would get there through goals. And those goals are then communicated on a cadence to check on progress. When something is off track, we course correct. When something is on track, we're learning from what is working and just doing more of that. And this shift away from strictly managing the business to leading it does a few important things. It keeps you in the role of vision and leadership. You spend more time working on the business rather than in it. Your people are empowered to run whole parts of the company so that you can focus on growth. And your vision becomes clearer as you gain progress and utilizing those systems and people. And so, where can you use leadership today? Whether you have a large team, a small team, or no team, getting into a cadence of evaluating where your organization is, where it needs to go, and what needs to happen to get there is essential. And you can start today right after this presentation. So these are the 3 secrets to creating both time and financial freedom in your life, to have a life and a business by design. And when these 3 secrets are used together to create a transformation in an agency owner, through working with over 70 marketing agency owners and interviewing hundreds of them over the last 4 years, I have boiled it all down into 5 main obstacles that must be overcome on the path to scaling an agency. And these are the 5 typical obstacles that they must overcome to level up. And this is where those 5 transformations come from, because there is a gift in every obstacle. So, number 1 is time. They must regain control of time. And the problem that they must face is that the business is working them 24/7 and it negatively starts impacting other areas of their life. It's unsustainable. And why is this important? Without control of your time, you will continue to live life by default and be unable to move into your role within the agency that you need to be in order for you to scale. And so the biggest milestone that you need to have is to carve out 8 to 10 hours per week for you to work on the business. Transformation number 2 is delegation, enabling effective delegation. The problem that people face is that every new client means more hours for you. And without simplification and the ability to effectively delegate work to others, you continue to be brought back into client fulfillment work and get stuck working in the business rather than on it. And so the milestone that you have to overcome is to simplify your service by getting everything out of your head into systems and processes. Then that leads towards the offer. And this is where you need to increase profit and scalability. The problem that most agency owners face in transformation number 3 is that their offer is not scalable or paying you what you're worth. And maybe this might be something that's happening right now. And the problem is that without a profitable and scalable solution for your clients, you'll reach a point that you'll be unable to increase the supply and remain profitable as your demand increases. So the milestone you must have is you must create a scalable minimum viable solution for your ideal clients that's priced according to value. Once you have that offer, you need to bring it into the market. So the next piece is based around the pipeline, your client attraction systems. And you got to fill the pipeline with qualified appointments. And the problem is a lot of times agency owners will only focus on referrals or paid ads or just maybe one or two methods to book appointments. So they don't really have much control over booking appointments. And without a predictable system or solution with optics that allows you to know down to the dollar or hour of work on how to bring in a new client, you'll be unable to scale. And so the milestone is that you have to create and optimize an integration or a connection between your referral, outbound, and inbound systems in order for you to fill your pipeline. And as you have moved throughout this process, the last step, the last transformation is really based around your people. You need to align them and empower your people. The problem that people face is that things break without you working in the business or keeping people aligned to the vision. And without a team taking over whole parts of your agency, you'll be unable to rely on a collective to sustain and grow the agency without your direct involvement. And so the milestone is to set up the people systems and the organizational culture to sustain and grow the business without your direct involvement. And so the 3 secrets allow you to understand the components of the strategy that's needed to scale. And the 5 transformations allow you to walk through each milestone on your way to achieving your vision. Now, can you see why having the right method for scaling your agency is something worth having? And this method may be just a bridge between where you are and wherever you want to go. And it has and continues to be with me. Great. So here's what I know. Even if we had a full day together instead of the 90 minutes, it's going to be hard, next to impossible to give you everything that I could give you. Regardless of how good you are, no 90-minute presentation is going to change your life. You need more than that. And while everything that I have given you up until this point is valuable, it's just really the tip of the iceberg. And if you like what I have shared with you so far, you're going to love what I got for you next. You see, when making this presentation, I had 2 choices. The first option is to part ways with you and then hope that on your own you could figure this out. Or the second option is that I could take a more active role and responsibility for your success to create a win-win situation. I chose number 2 to go together. And so that gives me great pleasure to introduce you the Agency Owner's Guide to Freedom system. Now, with this system, you'll wield all 5 transformations as an agency CEO with a business that can sustain and grow without your direct involvement while getting paid for what you're worth. So here's what you're going to get. This is going to get crazy, so buckle up. Now, if you are someone who wants to become a CEO of your agency, but you have lost the vision of your agency because you're too close to the work, or you have experienced some success before, had a setback, and can't seem to break a pattern of the past and achieve a breakthrough, then pay attention because this is for you. This is the Mindset Mastery System. And here is how it's going to help you scale your agency. Let's just say that you know all the things that you should do but aren't doing them, or you gain success for a while and then something keeps happening that brings you back to what is considered normal. If you need to get unstuck, this is the fastest, cheapest, and most certain way to get a breakthrough. Making mindset practical and breaking limiting beliefs and replacing them with empowering beliefs and actions. In fact, Susan used the Mindset Mastery System to envision a future of herself and her agency. And the visionary work set a frame for her to create a path in her mind. And then she used the more advanced stuff that I'm about to show you in a second. And went from almost giving up on her agency to doubling her business, then getting acquired within 18 months of working together. And this is what she says. One of the other things that has been really key to working with Jesse is understanding the mindset shift. So you can be doing everything right, but if your mind and your energy isn't involved in it in the right way, you're not going to get results. Certainly not at the level of doubling your business in 6 months. Susan Fernandez, and she actually wrote the foreword in the book. And the best part is mindset mastery system works no matter what stage of business you are in. So here's what the mindset mastery system will show you how to do. Define your current self, define your future self, uncover your becoming self, identify limiting beliefs and habits, and remove them and replace them with empowering beliefs and actions. And step number 6 is to provide a path of living life in a business by design. Step number 7 is allowing you to identify your patterns and break through for transformational change. For me, this system cost me $11,452 in investments and about 3 years of tests trying to figure it out. So that was a hard and slow and expensive way. But I want to save you the 3 years of testing and the $11,452 that it took to figure this out, and just give you the fast, cheap, and easy way of doing it. This is so valuable that you could literally do nothing else I show you and just use mindset mastery, and you would experience a profound transformation, which today I'm valuing today at only a fraction of my investment, both time and money, at $997. So here's what you get. Now, if you are constantly finding yourself busy doing tasks and not hitting targets, or you know that you need to work on the business, but you can't find the time, or you just don't feel like you control your time and you're constantly feeling behind, then pay attention because I made this for you. This is the regain control of your time system. And here's how it's going to help you scale your agency. Let's just say that you know that you need to work on the business in order to grow it, but you feel like you never have enough time, or you start carving out the time and can keep it for a little while, but once you're in a busy season, then you get sucked right back into client work. Or you're simply burnt out and exhausted from your business, not knowing what to do. If you need to get more time, reclaim time to work on the business, this is the fastest, cheapest, and most certain way to carve out one full day per week to work on the business. In fact, Mike used the regain control of your time system to stop working 12 to 14-hour days, 6 to 7 days per week. And this allowed him to have a better relationship with his business and have more time with his kids. While carving out the time, he stopped working on the weekends and used the time that he carved out to implement the advanced stuff I'll show you in a second. And he went from being overworked and underpaid to working 15 hours less per week and then quadrupling his business. And here's what he said. As I've worked with Jesse, I've improved my business behind the scenes, booked more work, and have recently made my first agency hire. I'm on a path of growth and profitability and have made sure that all my processes are now documented to share with my team. I've also been able to spend more time with my boys, which is the most beneficial of all. Mike, the best part about the regain control of your time system works regardless of how busy you may feel that you are. Here is what the regain control of your time system will do. Capture your time, current use of time, categorize your time into 4 main buckets, eliminate what is unnecessary, automate what is repetitive and boring but needed, delegate low-level work to others, time box and reduce task switching, where you're jumping between 2 different things that kind of make it where you fatigue, to increasing your productivity, excuse me, and to predictably carve out 8 to 10 hours per week to work on the business. For me, the system cost me over 8 years of doing it wrong, dissolving businesses and burning out trying to figure this out. That was not a fun way of learning it. But what I want to do is I want to save you those 8 years of testing and business failures and burnout that it took to figure this out. And I just want to give you the shortcut, the fun way. For many of you here today, this is the only thing that you need to free up your time and reclaim control of your life and business. To make sure that you can actually get started, I value the regaining control of your time system at only a fraction of my investment of time and money at $1,497. So here's what you get. The Mindset Mastery System value of $997 and the Regain Control of Your Time System $1,497 value for a total value of $2,494. So now I want to talk to somebody else in the audience. If you are someone who knows that if you just turned on marketing, you'd have more leads than you can handle, or you've delegated work to others and it continues to be done wrong, so you end up taking it over and doing it yourself, or you haven't figured out a way to duplicate yourself so that when you're not the one doing the work, your clients aren't being impacted, then pay attention. This is for you. The delegation system blueprint. Here's how it'll help you scale your agency. When you have an effective delegation system, you can not worry about giving assignments to others. Your team morale increases. You can work more, do more work in less time. And your profits increase while you deliver a higher quality product or service. If you need to increase profits, to free up time and create scalability in your agency, this is how every hour you invest can save you 10 or more hours of execution time. And this is what Susan attributes as being how she got her full service creative agency to be attracted to the PR agency that acquired hers. And this is how Warren went from $15,000 per month to $100,000 per month in just 9 months. And the best part about the delegation system blueprint is it works to, regardless of whether or not you have an operational system or you need to build it from scratch, or if you just need to refine and improve your existing systems. And for many of you, this could be the blueprint that you need in order for you to increase your agency's valuation for a sale, or to simply take a vacation with your family that you've been putting off until now. So here is what the delegation system blueprint will show you how to do. You can get everything out of your head, break down the value that you deliver your clients, create a step-by-step process for each one of those deliverables, compare those deliverables to the roles within the company, and remove any of these unnecessary tasks or distractions in order for you to streamline your operations. You organize the work to reduce inefficiencies, and you'll be able to communicate your processes, how to do the work, in less than 5 seconds. And you can create effective SOPs and checklists with each process, centralize the how-to getting the work done, and then be able to assign work to others and holding your team accountable from afar. Now, for me, this system cost me $23,000, a little bit over $23,000, and 5 years of testing to figure it out. That was an extremely hard, slow, and expensive way. But what I want to do is I want to save you the 5 years of testing and the $23,000 that it took to figure this out, and just give you the fast, cheap, and easy way of doing it. This is so valuable that you could literally do nothing else that I show you and just use the delegation system blueprint, and you would experience a profound transformation, which today I am valuing at only a fraction of my investment of time and money at $2,997. So here's what you get. The Mindset Mastery System at $997. The Regain Control of Your Time System at $1,497. The Delegation System Blueprint at $2,997 with a total value of $5,491. Now I want to speak to somebody else in the audience. If you are someone who is seen as a commodity in the eyes of potential customers and has yet to choose a niche or a specialty, or you make deals that are constantly based around an hourly or a cost plus model, and you're not getting paid for what you're worth, or if you have an offer that is neither profitable or scalable, then pay attention. This is for you. This is the Minimum Viable Solution Blueprint. And here is how it's going to help you scale your agency. Let's just say that you have some clients that get great results from you, but others don't. Or you've become a generalist trying to be everything to everybody, and it has become so complex to deliver on what is promised. Or you just want another way to look at the value that you provide your clients. If you need to cut through the noise in the market and get a signal, this is the fastest, cheapest, and most certain way to get a breakthrough. This is where you are looking at your offer, pricing, packaging, and crafting it correctly to be specifically for your ideal clients to win big and with the least amount of effort on your end. In fact, Scott used the minimum viable solution blueprint to break free of the hourly model and double his profit margins within 3 months of working together. In addition, this is how Larissa doubled her annual reoccurring revenue by attracting higher ticket clients. Larissa was able to position herself and her agency differently by focusing on value and working with bigger brands that finally paid her for based on that value. And this is what Larissa had said. Jesse and I work together to figure out who I want to be working with so that I can deliver on my strengths. I can deliver effectively, be appreciated by my clients, and have good client relationships. And that has definitely improved since working with Jesse. He's helped me change the way that I think about my services that I offer and how I deliver on them. Larissa. Now, the best part is that the minimum viable solution blueprint works regardless of whether you have already chosen a niche or not. Now, here's what the minimum viable solution blueprint will show you how to do. Define your ideal client. Create a value-driven minimum viable offer. Assess the value of the transformation that you're offering. Determine the price and the package and the structure of your offer. And then create a workflow to deliver on that new offer, creating the messaging and positioning to differentiate yourself, and then to get your first 5 clients with a new offer through your proof of concept. Now, for me, the system cost me $6,324 in investments and about 2 years to figure it all out. That was a painful way. But I want to save you the 2 years of testing and the $6,324 it took to figure this out and just give you the pain-free way. This is so valuable that you could literally do nothing else, I show you, and just use the minimum viable solution blueprint, and you could double your business by focusing on your niche, which I value today at only a fraction of my investment of time and money at $1,997. So here's what you get. Mindset Mastery System, breaking free of any limiting beliefs at $997 value. You have the Regain Control of Your Time system, where you are able to carve out one full day per week to work on the business, valued at $1,497. You get the Delegation System Blueprint, where you get everything out of your head into systems and processes so you can effectively delegate work. That is at $2,997. And then the minimum viable solution blueprint, where you're able to focus on a niche and be able to deliver on the work that gets them the best results with the least amount of effort on your end, valued at $1,997. That comes to a total value of $7,488. Now, let's just say that you're the type that wants to scale exponentially and having more consistent appointments with qualified leads without an end in sight. Then you are going to love this. This is the Client Attraction System Blueprint. And here's how it's going to help you scale your agency. Now, many agency owners rely on only 1 or 2 methods to bring in appointments. Maybe they're growing only based around referrals or paid ads or social media. Now, there are 3 main ways to attract clients. You have the outbound system, the inbound system, and referral system. And when they're used by themselves, revenue patterns look like this. So the revenue pattern for referrals is feast and famine. Some months they come in, some months they don't, and they kind of go back and forth like this, right? And then inbound, so anything like paid ads or search engine optimization, it takes a long time to get results. It might be like 6 to 12 months before you're actually getting a return on that. And outbound, sending messages to people that don't really know you, there should be a little dip in here, but it is consistent. You can get market feedback in less than 48 hours, right? But it's uncomfortable for most people. And the key is to leverage all 3 legs of this client attraction system to allow exponential growth. So if you want to scale your agency indefinitely, then this is the fastest, cheapest, and most certain way to have a massive action plan with booking appointments. And this is how I've been able to book 318 qualified appointments so far this year, and how we've used this blueprint to create an integrated client attraction system. And the best part is the client attraction system blueprint sticks with the fundamentals and works regardless of a market or technology changes. So here's what the client attraction system blueprint will show you how to do. Identify where your ideal client congregates. and set up a referral system, setting up an organic outbound system, optimizing your inbound systems, and then integrating all these systems to create what's called message resonance, and which ultimately leads towards exponential growth. For me, the system cost me $25,121 in investments and about 4 years of testing on us and our clients to figure it out. It was hard with lots of trial and error, but I want to save you the 4 years of testing and the $25,000 that it took to figure this out. And I just want to give it to you the right way from the beginning. Now, this is so valuable that you could literally do nothing else. I show you and just use the client attraction system blueprint, and you would have more conversations with your ideal clients. And this could be the bridge between the 6 figures and the 7 figures in your agency. But I value today only a fraction of the investment of time and money at $1,997. So here's what you get: Mindset Mastery System at $997, breaking free of limiting beliefs. The Regain Control of Your Time system, where you're able to carve out 1 full day per week to work on the business, valued at $1,497. The delegation system blueprint, where you're able to take everything out of your head and your team's head into systems and procedures, so that way you can delegate work to others and stay in that kind of visionary role, valued at $2,997. Then the minimum viable solution blueprint, where you're able to focus your agency on a particular niche or ideal client, and then be able to create a scalable minimum viable solution for your ideal clients, priced according to value. And then the client attraction system blueprint, where you're able to build the outbound, inbound referral systems to create exponential demand for your services and create that connection with your ideal clients, valued at $1,997. And this leads towards a total value of $9,485. Now, I want to talk to the last type of person in this room. Now, if you are someone who has big dreams and ambitions, but you've never worked in corporate America or led a large and growing team, or has a growing team, but they spend most of the time micromanaging them, or when you bring on a new team member, it's like flipping a coin to see whether or not they're a good fit, then pay attention. This is for you. This is the Empower Your People system. Now, this is how it's going to help you scale your agency. Let's say that you know exactly how to find and hire the top 1% of contractors and employees. Then they get trained up correctly and are able to get to independence within that role in a fraction of a time that it normally takes. Next, then they're held to your standards and your performance is measured so that the low performers are squeezed out of your organization while the high performers are attracted to work for you. If this is not yet a reality for you and your agency, the Empower Your People system is the fastest, cheapest, and most certain way to make this happen. I am bringing corporate level HR systems and making them simple to integrate within agencies to hire the right people, train them correctly, manage them based around performance, and set you up as a leader within the organization with a team that's aligned towards your vision. In fact, Susan used the Empower Your People system to make her agency less founder dependent, which enabled the acquisition to go through. And this allowed her team to be empowered to take over whole parts of the company so that she could focus on growth. And the best part is that the Empower Your People system works no matter what stage you are in or the size of your team. So here's what the Empower Your People system will show you how to do. Create an organization by design, answering questions like, why would somebody want to work for you? How you can create these values that shape the culture of your organization, and how to define that organizational culture, how to create team development, and then a North Star metric, so you're guiding light towards performance. How to hire the right people and going through all 5 hiring stages, when to hire a contractor or when to hire an employee, to develop the job description and go through the hiring process. And to train the right way. And this is where you start understanding the model, like the consciousness competence model, and how to really set up people for success when they are a new hire. And then going through a day-by-day training plan for the employees and contractors, and then mapping out what's happening in the first month to 3 months to 12 months, right? And then getting to a point where you are managing and retaining good people This is where you're finding that organizational alignment, developing long-term goals, and creating a culture of continuous improvement so your systems and your people continue to be refined. For me, this system cost me the most, $36,000, $36,278 in investments, and about 8 years trying to figure this out. That was hard. But I want to save you the 8 years of testing and the $36,278 that it took to figure this out. And I just want to give you the quick, cheap, easy way. This is so valuable that you could literally do nothing else I show you and just use the Empower Your People system. You'd gain unshakable certainty in growing a team that executes your vision, which I value today only at a fraction of my investment of time and money at $3,997. So here's what you're going to get. Mindset mastery system, breaking free of limiting beliefs and understanding your three selves so that way you can continue to grow. Valued at $997. The regain control of your time system, where you're mastering your time, carving out one full day per week to work on your business, valued at $1,497. The delegation system blueprint, where you're taking everything out of your head, getting it into systems and procedures so you can delegate work to others and effectively start focusing on growth, valued at $2,997. Then we have the minimum viable solution blueprint. This is where you're focusing in on that niche, your specialty, and being able to be paid for what you're worth. This is valued at $1,997. Then we have the client attraction system blueprint, where you've set up the outbound, inbound referral systems to create exponential demand for your services with your ideal clients, valued at $1,997. And then the Empower Your People system, where you're able to understand how to create an organization by design, hiring, training, managing people, all executing on your vision, valued at $3,997. This comes to a total value of $13,482. No matter which of these systems or blueprints that you choose on focusing on implementing, this can easily prove to be more valuable than a $100,000 four-year degree. And you've seen how this has allowed myself and my clients to free up the time, increase profits, delegate work, get paid for what they're worth, and take time away from work with the business to have the business sustain and grow without us. And it's costed me well over $102,000 in hard costs alone just to learn this. And if you were to pay me hourly to teach you all of this one-on-one based on my hourly rate, it would cost about $250,000. So if I was to price this at what it's truly worth, I wouldn't have any issue asking you to invest $100,000. But before I tell you the price, let me ask you a question. How much is it worth to you to have a long-term growth plan and 8 to 10 hours freed up per week? Is it an extra $10,000 per year, $30,000 per year, an extra $80,000 per year, an extra $250,000 per year, or an extra $800,000 per year? Hold that number in your head. Because if you had no doubts that it would happen, wouldn't it be at least worth that much? Because working with clients directly, implementing these systems, Melanie doubled her revenue within 3 months while working less. Larissa doubled her annual revenue within 3 months. Scott doubled his profit margins within 3 months. Susan doubled her revenue and sold her agency. And Warren 6x the revenue in 9 months, adding an extra $800,000 per year in reoccurring revenue. For all these clients, it would have been worth it at any price. And that is why the Agency Owner's Guide to Freedom system is a bargain at $30,000. And consider this. If all this did was give you a clear path forward to live life on your own terms, like it did for me, or to save you from burnout, like it did for me, or to allow you to effectively delegate work to others, like it did for me, or to choose a niche and finally get paid for what you're worth, like it did for me. If all this did was to allow you a consistent playbook for attracting new business, and if all this did was to empower your team to run whole parts of the company so you could focus on growth and taking time for yourself, wouldn't it be worth it? Cool. I think so too. Which is why it's an even bigger bargain at $9,997. Because if all this did was give you more time to focus on what got you into the agency business in the first place, and you awoke the entrepreneur within you to expand and grow into the person you aspire to be, and the certainty that comes from the place that will show up, how you show up, comes into your sales calls and how you conduct them, how to position yourself in the market and close more deals. It'll pay for itself in months or even weeks. And the best part is that once you invest once, you develop skills that will last forever. This is why skills are the best investment. So, which would you rather have? The $9,997 or your dream? You're right. Me too. Which is why it'd be the best, maybe the best offer that I've ever given at $4,997. But because I want each of you to 2x, 5x, or 10x your business and live your dream over the next 12 months. And I know how life-changing this system has been for me and my family. And I want it to be affordable for anyone and everyone, but still an investment. I'm not going to ask you for $30,000, even though it would be totally reasonable and a bargain. I'm not going to ask you for $9,997. I'm not even going to ask you for $4,997. I'm going to ask for a single payment of $0. All of the knowledge and the skills can be gathered within the Agency Owner's Guide to Freedom audiobook. It's 100% free. You're going to find it at the end of this presentation. You'll find the audiobook on the Leverage for Growth podcast, 100% free. So at the beginning of this presentation, I said that I was going to help out two types of people. Did I deliver on my promise for the first type of person? Where the people that need the lifeline to take control of themselves and their family and get closer towards that. So now for everybody else, this is for you. It gives me with great pride to present to you the Agency Owner's Guide to Freedom hardcover edition. But before I tell you where you can grab a copy, I have a question for you. Who here is connected with other agency owners that need this? So help me share these lessons with them. Give a book to a friend. I'm on a personal mission to help 1 million entrepreneurs to live their entrepreneurial vision through the combination of mindset, systems, and leadership. But I can't do it alone. And if you believe in paying it forward and helping others have more agency in their lives, pick up more than one copy and just give it to a friend. So you can go to this link and grab yours now. It's shop.nicheandcontrol.com. With that, I have good news and I have bad news. Good news is we got an initial shipment of books. They look like this. The bad news is we didn't get a lot. So we only have 200 copies available currently. And even though I'm putting a limit on 20 books per order, we're going to run out of them pretty fast. And I was just told a little bit ago that we're on the Amazon bestsellers list. So here's how you can get your books. Step number one is enter this URL in the new browser so it doesn't take over what we're doing right now. So you can go to shop.nicheandcontrol.com. And then you're going to click on the book and you're going to increase the quantity because you know you want to share them. And you're going to click buy it now. You're going to fill out your info and you're going to select your shipping. Just remember that books are heavy and governments require sales tax. So that's where that comes from. And then you're going to fill out that information and hit pay now. So as you're going through that, I want to give some expectations on delivery. We ship the order which we receive. We ship in the order that we receive, which means that the earlier that you put the order in, the faster you will get them. And books are heavy, so shipping cost money. And after you guys finish the hardcovers, and we're going to print the rest as paperbacks, which will take a couple of weeks. So this is still going to be the fastest way to get them. And oh yeah, one more thing. I have one more promise to deliver on. What about that exclusive bonus for every agency owner that came here live? and registered for the event. What are you going to get because you showed up live that everyone else not here is going to regret not being here live? As an exclusive bonus for every agency owner here today that purchased my book, you're all going to get a free coaching session with me one-on-one to determine the quickest way for you to implement the system into your agency. It is a coaching session, not a pitch. It's a straight value. I'm just going to get to understand how you can apply this stuff to your agency and give you a path forward using these resources. You can think about it as a personalized implementation strategy to tell you specifically what you need to focus on in order for you to grow. So we're getting towards the end here. Here's a recap of what you're going to get today. You have the hardcover edition, Agency Owner Guide to Freedom hardcover edition at shop.nicheandcontrol.com. You have the audiobook where you can read the hardcover edition and listen to it. That's a good way of being able to retain the information because we cover a lot. And then for those that are here today, you get a one-on-one session with me. And with our one-on-one sessions, we'll look at the list of people that buy today, along with the ones that registered. We'll compare those. And then for those that do that, I will reach out to you guys on Monday. So this is the final call to action. There's a limit of 20 books per order. There are only 200 copies available currently. You're going to want to get yours now before they run out. You go to shop.nicheandcontrol.com. And that is the end of our presentation today. I thank you very much for being a part of the book launch. It's probably the first of many, and I want to thank you. I'll see you guys later.